Hello everyone, welcome to Zyori vlog number 6. It is bright and early on this beautiful Monday morning, July 23rd, 9:30 a.m. So how is everybody today? Yet another installation of the vlogs. I don't know how long it's been since we've had our last one. Let's take a look here. It's been about 6 days or so, sort of keeping up with that bi-weekly posting schedule that I promised, more or less, a little bit. Anyhow, a lot of interesting stuff to talk about today. Of course, there have been a lot of big announcements in the Heroes of Newerth scene, so plenty of interesting stuff to talk about. Plenty of other things that I've been up to as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. For those of you living under a rock that for some reason watch Zyori vlogs before you watch all of your other social media, Heroes of Newerth has gone completely free to play, which it has been for some time, but now you have access to all of the heroes. That's right, they've done away with their old style of rotating those 16 free to play heroes around, and now upon making a new account you actually have access to everyone except those that are in early access, of course. And that's quite the big change. That's one of the things that a lot of people criticize about Heroes of Newerth, especially to help kind of with that learning curve a little bit early on for those beginners. Having access to only a finite amount of heroes, it makes it very difficult to really learn the game in an efficient manner. Actually, one of the problems I've had with League of Legends is it takes quite some while to get access to all the heroes, or champions, if you will. But it's a very interesting play from S2, trying to change this model a little bit, and I guess maybe some would say in retrospect this is the model that they should have followed to begin with, sort of like what Dota 2 is going to be doing, where all of those heroes are going to be free to play. It's a little bit scary. I actually watched a video that was posted on Reddit that was from Total Biscuit, one of his episodes of The Mailbox, talking about the future of MOBA games and the way Steam works and why Valve is able to do what they do with Dota 2. And his argument is that Dota 2 is a lost leader for Valve, although Dota 2 itself is a financial cesspool. It gets more people on the Steam client and hence makes Steam more money in the end. And that's an interesting argument. That actually, there's probably a lot of truth to that, at least in my opinion. There's a lot of other companies, Google being one of them, that does a very similar thing. It's all about building that ecosystem, getting people on Steam, getting people on the Google servers, getting people on the Facebook servers. That's what it's all about. Whatever server or company owns that data, they own the data. They can do whatever they want with it, and they can charge premiums effectively. That's exactly how Steam works. They get a cut of everything that's sold through Steam. So it's interesting. That begs the question, is it the right move for Heroes of Newerth? Is it too late? Should they have stuck with the original model? Do they have the financial capital to support this? Who knows? I have absolutely no idea, but it's very interesting nonetheless. For those of you with free-to-play accounts, this should be music to your ears, as you now have access to everyone. Along with that, there has been even more news in the realm of Heroes of Newerth. Of course, the DreamHoN Summer Championships have officially begun, and with that, Honcast has officially selected its new co-caster. I've been getting a lot of questions recently about how I feel about Tralfamadore. And it cracks me up every single time. For some reason, I get the vibe that a lot of people are under the impression that Tralf and I have some sort of a vendetta against one another. Or really, me versus everyone who tried out for that co-caster position. People ask me, oh, are you going to apply? Are you going to do this? Or are you upset about this? And I don't really care. It's not my prerogative to care. S2 handles all of that. Honcast did the screening process without me. I turned down the job. I knew they were going to replace me. It's absolutely not a problem at all. Of all the applicants, I actually don't even know all of the applicants. Off the top of my head, I couldn't rattle off everyone that applied. But I did not know that Tralfamadore was applying. It was a surprise to me as well. Some things I'm not privy to ahead of time. I'm happy for him. Big congratulations on Order. I mean, that's a really cool opportunity. And I'm actually really glad that a competitive Insight player made it onto the channel, because that's something that a lot of people have been asking for recently, and I think it's gotten to the point where people are overemphasizing the importance of a competitive Insight caster, and that's another one of those terms, kind of like the DDoS term, that in this community I feel like that gets thrown around a lot more than it really should. People begging for competitive Insight, or saying X caster has no competitive Insight. It's like, every caster has competitive Insight, but I understand where that argument comes from. It's nice to have an actual professional level player that can sort of predict what's going to happen, really get into the mindset of what the players actually playing the game are experiencing, and it does increase the viewership, or the quality of the stream, if you will. I mean, I would prefer generally to watch streams that have at least one competitive player, unless there's some other scenario or some other situation. But so I understand completely, and I'm really glad that one of the professional players that really has the means to do something like this stepped up, because as I've said in many a podcast, many just regular cast before, the biggest problem with the small scene of Heroes of Newerth is that most of the pro players are still playing, or they're not casting because they're not any good at it, or they don't want to. We don't have an abundance of retired, washed-up pros that still know the game inside and out, but are just sitting around and looking for something to do. They've either moved on for real life, they've moved on to another game, or they've been like, you know, I just like playing this game for fun, I don't want to cast full-time. All those are very perfectly reasonable reasons not to want to be a co-caster, but it does leave us in kind of a pickle with who's going to fill that role, because it's obvious that people really wanted Breaky to be paired up with a competitive insight caster. I think Tralf fits the bill perfectly. I think on top of that, he has a very, very nice voice. I think the little that I've worked with him, he has a reasonably good attitude, and hopefully he'll fit in well with HoNcast. I don't know anything else beyond that about when he's planning on relocating or any of that kind of stuff. I actually haven't even watched that much of him casting. I watched their first cast, but every other day of DreamHoN so far, I've either been casting it myself or I've been busy. So I haven't really caught much of it, but from the little I've heard, it sounded pretty good. I mean, of course, with any new duo, Breaky and Tralf may have casted together before, but any kind of beginning of a casting duo, it's always going to be a little bit rough. It's only going to improve from here. So I'm really excited. I mean, I think it's awesome. For me personally, I'm still working with Garena. I'm actually still working with HoNcast as well. I'm still technically a member of HoNcast. I've said that many a time in the past as well. Still true. So, you know, if there are times when Tralf or Breaky can't make it, of course, I can do camera. Tralf can now do camera, so there are 3 cameramen around the HoNcast scene. So I'm here as kind of a backup more so than anything else. Certainly until Tralf gets out there, maybe during that transition, when he moves. Like I said, I don't know the details of all that, but the point of the story is I am here to help wherever that may be needed. So to continue on with DreamHoN, I am currently casting with Garena. That's kind of my new thing right now. I will be covering one of the 3 SEA teams every day during DreamHoN at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 o'clock Pacific, and 2100 CET. I'll be following either Orange Esports, MUFC, or Impunity. Those are the 3 SEA teams participating in the event. I will be casting on the DreamHoN SEA channel. DreamHoN SEA. It is going to be cataloged on my website, as will the HoNcast stream every day during the tournament. I have updated the ZyoriTV calendar. So I'm in pretty good shape. I should be casting it pretty much every day, unless I know coming up soon we do have a picking day where HoNcast is going to sit down and pick everybody for the group stages. That kind of stuff. Obviously, I won't be casting Garena that day, but most days, unless HoNcast is covering all of it, I will be participating. So that's definitely good news. Right now, I am solo casting, though. I need to actually find a co-caster. Ironic as that is, I need to find a co-caster myself. Now, I joked about it in one of the last vlog. I guess it was it was either the vlog or the breakdown, whatever. One of the last videos about, oh, I need a co-caster. Please don't send me your applications. Honestly, if a few people stepped up and said, I'd really like to cast with you, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I was actually really hoping there would be a return of Sneaky. I thought she was going to come back and start casting with me, but she's still having some hardware issues and some other issues outside of that. So I don't think she's going to be coming back to the casting scene in the near future, at least not with me. But who knows? Regardless, though, I'm more or less sort of loosely looking for someone to fill that slot to cover some Garena stuff with me. I did mention the calendar here, and we can actually take a look. I just want to pull up my website very, very quickly here for you guys. When I talk about the calendar, this is what I'm talking about, this little side panel over here. All of the events will be cataloged as they come. The Summer Championship stuff is going to be here, and all of the associated streams will be listed when the event comes live. So if you don't know where to find the Garena channel, or somehow you don't know how to find the HoNcast channel, you can always go there and check it out. So that is just, well, a little bit of a how-to on how to access the old ZyoriTV calendar that I reference oh so much. So what else do we have on the agenda for today? That's actually kind of the bulk of it. The other few things I want to talk about, I just want to mention that news report this past week, 2 days ago on Saturday morning, was a Heroes of Newerth episode. Hyper and I did not play League. Instead, we last second, really, decided to switch it up and do a little bit of casual mode. So for those of you Han fans out there, you can check out the VOD. It is posted on YouTube and also cataloged on ZyoriTV. I implore you to check it out. As I've said a few times in the past, it's really more of a podcast with a game on in the background than gaming with just a little bit of audio. So it's one of those things that you could really just listen to it without even watching, and it would be about 7 or 90% of the content or so, something like that. The gameplay isn't particularly good. It's really more for lulls than anything else. But we have decided we're going to be rotating games. We're not only going to be playing League, we're going to rotate around all the MOBAs and possibly some others as well. Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock, ZyoriTV/report. Yet again, just to reiterate some of that stuff. This last episode was actually... the talking content was good. The production was actually really bad. For some reason, YouTube only encoded up to 480p, and I don't know why. So the quality isn't that great. The audio is just fine, though. So go ahead and check that out. Yeah, the last thing I had on here, my little notes that I brainstormed last night in sort of a, well, exhausted stupor. I just have a little tick point and date time with Zyori. And to be perfectly frank, I can't remember what I was going to say about date time with Zyori. Oh, well, date time aside, I do want to say as well, tonight is, actually today, I guess, is the celebration of the 25th anniversary of Star Trek: The Next Generation. They are doing a 25th anniversary special theater release tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what time it is in other time zones, if it's all together or if it's at 7 o'clock everywhere. But if you pretend, or at least pretend to call yourself a Star Trek fan, you should go support Star Trek and The Next Generation tonight, the greatest fucking television show of all time. I will be there in New Jersey. It is going to be so awesome. Had a few ideas, actually, to start a couple of Star Trek shows. I don't think I have enough content to fill them, but this is... every time I think about Star Trek, I just get so excited. I just want to talk about it with more people. I don't have enough Star Trek friends, is what I'm getting at. So, if any of you guys are Star Trek friend or Star Trek people who don't know what I'm talking about, Google it, Star Trek TNG 25th Anniversary. It is today, tonight, and I implore all of you to go out and support the great franchise that we know as Star Trek. Other than that, though, I think that about does it for tonight. Everything else going on behind the scenes, still prepping for the future, still getting the website in tip-top shape. Been making a lot of improvements as of late. Just put some new social media icons on that bad boy last night. I think they look damn good. But I think that about does it, guys. Just a quick update for you all. And, of course, another Zyori vlog will be coming your way before too long in these upcoming weeks. Looking forward to the DreamHoN Championship, DreamHoN Summer Championships. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the coverage so far, and plenty more coverage to come. So, yeah, today, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the next time you'll see me live. So until then, guys, take care.